What's your name?
Daniel McArthur. I'm from San Diego, California. It was a month for my 21st birthday, actually. I was on the highway with a concealed firearm. It was a legal firearm, but just not for me to have because I wasn't 21 at the time. But I had a little marijuana on me, and the rest is history. Got put on probation thanks to my lawyer, and I didn't really learn my lesson because I was just in and out, and in my mind, money could still solve all my issues. And I was still hard-headed. I still didn't really see the consequence in my action. I was blessed enough to get a withhold adjudication, and I just kept on with my nonsense. The second time is when I violated probation and there was no bond. So I did have to spend a good month and a half or a little bit over a month in the county jail in Duval. And I most definitely had low times while incarcerated there. I continued to live a reckless lifestyle with drugs and guns and everything that has to do with them until they began to really take heed of my behavior and watch that I was always tiptoeing the thin line. And eventually it caught up with me. I actually got found in possession, well, not directly in possession, but in the presence of a firearm again. And my probation officer at the time was just telling me, they thought it was hysterical. They were like, they're gonna railroad you. I'm like, can I call my girlfriend? They're like, you're gonna find a new girlfriend where you're going. And at this point, I'm like, okay. So nobody cares about me at this point. I've crossed that bridge. If they didn't care before, they really don't now, and it's to the point where it's comical to people. And that kind of added to that depression that I felt later as well. Trying to accumulate little things in there. I'd have like I don't know, a cup of ramen that I ate out of, and I'm saving the cup because it's a bigger cup. And even things like that were so innocent to me and meant so much to me would get taken away from me. And I couldn't fathom at the time why it was so significant to make that type of impact on somebody. And it dawned on me closer to the end of the stay that it's just another show of force. They want you to know who's inferior, who's superior, who's in charge, and there's nothing you can do about it. That and the mere concept of being locked away for 60 months, it wasn't a good feeling for sure. Up until the last time that I messed up, it changed, but not me as a spiritual person or even my mindset. I just wanted to continue to do what I was doing and be better at it. So I didn't have to keep coming back to jail and paying lawyers. But it wasn't until my mother finally said, all right, you've been on the run enough, you need to go turn yourself in. And I'm like, all right, because I'm gonna have to face it anyway. I'm looking over my shoulder every day. I'm always stressed out. I'm still dibbling, dabbling in everything that got me into the mess in the first place. And I finally succumbed to that and just went and turned myself in. And on the way, I asked for a sign, pretty much in the form of like, Lord, if this is what I'm supposed to be doing, show me now, because this doesn't feel right to me. And at that moment, we lost control of the vehicle we were driving on I-10. It's like a freak storm just came out of nowhere, and we hydroplaned, spun out, and I thought I was gonna die on the way to turn myself in for a crime that I thought was petty and that I didn't learn from. And I had multiple occasions to justify getting my life together and not doing the same things. But yeah, I thought it was over. And when it wasn't over, I knew, all right, it's time to really tighten up and walk the straight and narrow. It's not worth it. I was just baffled as to how I was going to do it, because I'd heard so many negative perceptions of felons in the workplace and how hard it is to get a job, how people treat you. Once you start to live life as somebody that could be deemed as not a good worker and not dependable and things of that sort, there's ways that you have to go about doing things that you probably already know about. And I feel as if that was one of the key things was, okay, I know how to obtain employment and keep employment, but I feel like Operation New Hope really went the extra mile to ensure that I knew above and beyond of whatever they were going to put me in the field of. No matter what kind of field someone wanted to go to, they ensured that they were ready to really show up, show out, and be that star player. And at that point, it's all on you. I work at a treatment facility at the beach. We cater to a lot of dual diagnosis clients, so it's ironic seeing the other side of the spectrum, where on one end, I was the one attending these treatments for marijuana in my car, and now I see people dealing with similar situations, some more lenient and less serious, some a lot more serious. And I can really provide a little bit of insight and just good customer service throughout the whole thing from somebody that really understands, you know? It's very rewarding. I like seeing individuals come at the worst time of their life and being able to flip that into the biggest blessing of their life. It's always hard at first because life's hard, you know? When somebody's at the bottom, it's hard to get them back to the top, but when they hit the top, it makes it all that more satisfying. And you can't really put a price on that. It definitely taught me to be more patient with people, because once I start seeing myself in someone, I instantly think of everything I had to go through before I got it. From becoming a felon, not being able to find work very easily until I had to go to a third-party place that, thank God, exists, or almost losing my life on the way to turn myself in for a crime. It took me all that. Not after the first, second time, I didn't get it. So maybe their time just hasn't come. One of the things going back to Operation New Hope, they'd always had this mentality where if you could learn something, learn it. You never know when you're gonna need it. So I kind of applied that to my everyday work environment, and I drive clients around, give them transportation where they need to go. I might be doing some IT work, fixing somebody's scanner or printer or laptop. I might be observing them take medication. Like, the list just never stops. There's no telling. For every dark time and trial that I've had, there's been another blessing that I wouldn't have seen if life had just been perfect and I hadn't got in trouble. I wouldn't know my girlfriend. I wouldn't have the outlook that I have on life right now. Hell, them situations that I went through might have prevented something a lot more serious in the future. And it might have just been my time to just calm down, you know? In my social life, in my day-to-day life, I would say that a lot of people are shocked that my demeanor is a certain way with the past that I have, and it doesn't really make sense to me, but it's there's always been that notion behind people with a criminal record. So I just try to be the difference, you know? Everything happens for a reason. We say it when everything's good, you gotta say it when it's bad. And I feel like that'll help you really get through most situations. At the end of the day, people are gonna look at you a certain type of way regardless of if you're a felon or not. You acting accordingly to it doesn't help. Be the change that you wanna see. Be the person that you want people to think about people that have felonies. Be that person, that exception that will have them not thinking so spontaneously about people with records. Be that person that makes them second guess, well, maybe this guy's not a bad guy. I know Daniel is definitely not a bad guy. I gave Daniel a chance. He showed me a wonderful person. Be the one that has everyone thinking maybe they're all wonderful.